Hello everybody, John McCracken here, aka the Lone Biker. Why don't you join me today for something a wee bit different as we take on the Mast climb. So here I am just outside of Priestland. And a beautiful May day, and you can see I'm resplendent in my Loudoun Road Club jersey, and that's because although a lot of my videos recently have been about nice wee sedate adventures, this is about to get a little bit tougher because as part of the club championships we do a time trial up the Mast climb. Now what is the Mast climb? If you're local you'll know exactly what it is, but at the top of this hill is the Darvel transmitter, the old TV aerial, and this is the road that takes you up, not directly to it, but as high as it. And it starts here, and each rider is going to be timed on Strava, which is the kind of social media for cyclists, and we'll see who's the winner at the end of that by checking everybody's time. This is a tough climb, whether you're doing it as a club championship or a race, and there has been an actual race come up here before, or even if you're just doing it socially. In fact, if you did one of the first two Darvelos, you'll know you started up this hill. Cheers, I know you're saying thanks again, John. We'll love a good hill start. Anyway, I'm going to go up it just now slowly and talk you through what the riders are going to experience as they're heading up the climb. So come on, we'll head up, up, up. So everybody's computer at this point is going to be telling them they've started, and then I've marked the start out. Always in chalk, it washes away. And immediately, they are into the steepest section of the entire climb. I think this might be one of the steepest sections. There are steep sections towards the top, but you've got, I don't know, do you want to call it, steep bread either side of this climb. And what a way to start. If you're doing this socially, take it nice and easy because there's quite a while to go, 3 kilometres. Right now we're at 11% gradient. Although if you're doing a time trial, you don't want, you're doing it for speed, but you don't want to do this too quickly, or else you'll have burnt all your matches in the first wee while. Most of the riders will have maybe cycled over from various parts of East Ayrshire, so their legs will be nice and warm. But if they're anything like me, when they see this corner, it provides a wee bit of respite because it actually flattens out. And it might even drop down a couple of gears, maybe even go into the big ring for a while. At this point, and I'll just let you see, you do get fantastic views down into Darvel. I can actually see my house from up here. In fact, I can see this big tree from my living room. But I very much doubt the Loudoun cyclists will be enjoying the scenery other than staring at this stem, wondering why, no matter how hard they go, they seem to be going slow. Or anyway, that's what I was thinking. So at this point, you're sitting at 5% of a gradient. So after that 11-12% start, it doesn't feel too bad. But Alas, you've only done 500 metres. Another 2.5k to go at this point. And just to throw into the mix, although it can be worse, because of prevailing westerlies in this part of the world, you're usually doing it into a headwind as well. Although I prefer to do a uphill into a headwind, because you're going to be going slower anyway. Right, and here's our next challenge coming up. We'll call this bit the S bend. It's a Scottish water station in here, and although it doesn't immediately look steeper, the grade starts moving up 3, 4, 5 into this bend in the road. Although it is a hill climb, there are actually a number of bends on it. Unlike our European cousins, they're not nice switchbacks, they're up quite steep bits, and here's our next steep part. So riders have been lulled into a false sense of security with that. Nice shallow gradient here, we're into double figures again, that's 10%. Corner's the worst bit. The road surface is not the greatest here. There are worse road surfaces that are definitely better. If you're descending this part, I always tell people to be careful with the end. Again, we level out here a bit, so it will give your legs a chance to recover. If you can recover in a time trial. Past Auchenbart Farm. And it's once you pass the farm that the tougher stuff begins to start. Now you've got a wee advantage. As the tougher stuff starts, so does the better tarmac. So at least you're not fighting against friction as much. Around this corner, and the road does straighten out, but it's discernibly steeper for longer periods of time. As you can see from the video just there ahead, it's not a nice thing to look up and see that that's still to go. It is worth doing it at this pace though, because the views up here, especially on a day like this, down the Irvine Valley and across Whiteley, are spectacular. I'm always talking about how spectacular the views are in the valley, but it's true. We are really lucky to live in such a beautiful place. Doesn't feel it in the midst of February when it's dark at 4 o'clock and when it is light it's freezing, but there you go. That junction we've just passed to the right there is part of the Irvine Valley pass network. It's not doable in a road bike, barely doable in a gravel bike. It would be fine in a mountain bike. And just be careful, it does kind of pass through or next to somebody's farm, and I'm always trying to be respectful of the farmers. But there, have a look at that. What a view of Darvel and Whiteley beyond. It's at this point a lot of the cyclists might actually be saying, stuff this, I might just take in the scenery. Now I'm going to stop here because this is the halfway mark and 1.5 kilometres in, and you're thinking, oh good, I'm halfway there. The second half is tougher. So I'm going to stop for a wee minute. I'm going to get the chalk out and I'm going to write down the ground just to let the cyclists know that they're halfway. Right, this is the fun part, starting on a hill. We're okay, we're in the right gear. I haven't told my daughter I've stolen some of her chalk as well. I'm sure she won't mind. So, as if what you have already done hasn't been torture enough, this is where I think it gets harder. As I say, the road surface does improve at this bit drastically. They did resurface a lot of the road, but not all of it, which I don't understand. They did this strip to lay some sort of utility. They could have maybe just done the road at the same time, but you know how these things work. Oh, we've got a van coming. Hopefully that's not happening when people are doing their TT. You do not want to stop when you're doing a TT. To be honest, if that happened, you'd go back to the bottom of the hill and go again, as annoying as that would be. You've got a series of false summits at this point. Steep, then flat for a wee section, then steep, and then the same again. It kind of repeats itself 3 or 4 times. Just stopped there to let a few trucks by. Hopefully the farmers are all there and having their tea when most of the riders come to make their attempt. If they're anything like me, they'll be sticking to the shade because it is an unusually warm day in Scotland. Now here's the next of our bends, and I think this is probably one of the worst wee inclines, because it arrives just a kilometre to go, so you've got to give this a wee bit of effort. It is steep. This is the last slice of bread of the steep sandwich. Unfortunately there's garnish still to go in the top. And this is the second last bend here. So here we go, we're climbing. We're into 13%. Now most of the time you climb the steep bit of the hill and you get the joy of knowing that you're at the summit. Alas, Darvel breeds things tougher, and you turn this corner and although not as steep, you can see you've still this bit to go, and I think this is possibly my least favourite part of it. You're nearing the end, 900 metres to go, less than a kilometre. It's only 7%, but given what you've just done, it's not an easy 7%. And look, just what I was talking about, this first hump here from the corner looks like the summit. As you draw nearer, another one of those pesky falls summits comes into view. Now in my Wahoo, that's the red section of the hill done. Red denoting that you're in double figures for gradient, into yellow single figures, which can still mean 8 and 9%, so not easy. Now, this is where life becomes much better if you're in a social day out, but if you are doing it in a race or a TT, you've still got 580 metres to go, just over half a K. So at this point, your head will want to go into the big ring again. Your legs might be screaming something completely different. But at this point, if you're pushing as hard as you can, all you can do is watch that wee number tick down in front of you, because you just want it to stop. Last 200 metres, and you can see we've still got climbing to do here. Just slight inclines. This is when, if you're racing this, you'll be out your saddle, going as hard as you possibly can. There we go, the Mast climb finished, and I'm just going to write the finish sign down. Oh aye, and look, you'll know you're at the top when you see the parrots in the tree. There was a wee monkey in the tree for a wee while, but he's disappeared. I'm going to get the chalk out and I'm going to write finish for those that have made it up here. Before I head back down the hill, I'll just go along and I'll show you the Mast. It's not actually right on the road. There's a kind of separate farm road up to it. I've never been to it. This lay-by is where you'll see 9 to 12 Loudoun Road Club riders pretending that they can't taste their lungs. Anyway, we'll zoom down here a wee bit first and I'll show you the Mast. So there it is over there. That's the Darvel transmitter. There is lots of vehicles and stuff there, so it is still in use for stuff. It's not TV anymore because all our TV's a satellite signal these days. I think it's used actually for digital radio amongst other things. But I would love to go inside it and actually see what it's like. I did actually know somebody that's been inside it. I can hear drilling and stuff going on, so they must still be working on it somehow. But you can see this from miles away, all over Ayrshire. And you are quite high up in the moor up here. Now that's an adventure for another day to actually get around there. Anyway, I'm going to head back down to the start and I'll maybe make my attempt. Just stopped halfway down the climb. Lovely view of Loudoun Hill in the background, just to give you some Darvel Mast climb stats. So Apparently my personal record up it is 10 minutes 48, so we'll see if we can beat that. Single figure minutes would be nice, but I'd happy just to be shave a second off. The all-time fastest up it was somebody called Craig Wallace, who's went up this in 7 minutes and 11. Now, there's another person in second place, John Archibald, who is actually a pro cyclist, and he did it in 7:27. The fastest woman is somebody called Daisy Taylor, but we do have two pro cyclists, Hayley Simmons and Jennifer George, that have both done it. But the fastest time was Daisy Taylor, 10 minutes and 12. Now, if I look at my club, Ollie Newton is the fastest from our club, going up it in 8:04. So quite a bit to go if I want to be the fastest in the club. It's not going to happen. So yeah, bit of a challenge there. Stats, it's 3.38 kilometres. Elevation gain is 185 metres, and the grade averages at 5.5%. So although there are spikes beyond that and wee bits below it, 5.5% is not too bad, but if you've ever cycled this climb, you'll know it just feels bad the entire time. Anyway, I'm going to go back down to the start and continue my descent, which is much more fun and a lot quicker than going up it. I'm just stopping here because we have a wee deer in the field. I don't know if you can see it there, it's just staring at me. Some more local wildlife eating some grass. Anyway, I'll leave you to it, wee deer. Probably be able to climb this hill faster than any of us could. We have my attempt. This time I won't be speaking. I'll film it, but I won't be speaking. I'm just going to have a wee gel. Just get the energy in there, because I'm going to need it. And if I can, I'll speak to you at the top. Camera. Yes. Oh man, that's horrible. Still a minute slower than my best time, but I ain't doing that again. So that's my time, it's going to stand. So I'm going to scoot back home. I've logged my time, and I'll come back out with the camera tonight and I'll film everybody else's efforts then. And maybe by that point, whoa, I might have my breath back. Oh man, that is tough. Just to put that in perspective, the fastest climb up here, 7 minutes and 11. My fastest, 10:48. Today I was 11:47, 59 seconds slower. But to put something in perspective, at my effort today, it's six minutes. That's when I was at the halfway point, so you can imagine the skill and fitness to get up here in 7 minutes. Anyway, I'm 46, trying my best. Here we are, I'm back up at the last bend, or the second last bend, but the last of the steep bits. I'm in my civvies now because I've done my bit, I've recovered nearly. Just waiting, there's a group of about 8 or 9 riders at the bottom of the hill. I'm just going to wait here for them coming up and I'll get some filming of them, but oh my goodness, what an absolutely gorgeous sight that is tonight. valley is really amazing on a summer's day like this. But look at that, into this forest here, Loudoun Hill over there, away into Whiteley Wind Farm, absolutely stunning. More stunning than my attempt at this hill earlier on, but let's wait and the rider's coming, we'll get some pictures and get some footage, and I'll get to revel in somebody else's pain. See you in a bit. And here comes our first rider. I think this is Dougie coming. It is indeed. Well done, Dougie. Absolutely horrible, innit? So we've got two riders in quick succession here. I think it's Kevin and Douglas number 2. Well done, guys. Well done, Dougie. Well done, Billy. Rank rotten, innit? Well done, no long to go. Well done. Just keep looking at the scenery, it'll take your mind off it. Worst bit's done, well done. Well done. Hello again, and this is the morning after the night before. Alas, my 11 minutes and 47 seconds yesterday was enough only to get me 5th place. We had 12 club riders doing the WTT yesterday, and the fastest up at yesterday was Paul Reed in 11:26. Actually, even though it was a beautiful night, I think the heat got to all of us in some way. Big congrats to Dawn in our club, who was our only female participant, but she did it in a fantastic time of 22 minutes. That's the first time she's ever tried a hill climb TT, so that's superb. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this wee video about the Darvel Mast climb. Put it into a ride, mid-ride, beginning of the ride, end of the ride if you want to finish going downhill. And if you fancy joining Loudoun Road Club, we do actually go for cycles for coffee and sedate cycles and social rides as well. So it's not just about going and blowing uphill all the time and TTs, although the wee TT that we have in the club is good fun and it is actually turns out into quite a social event. But if you fancy joining us, just search Loudoun Road Club. You'll find our entry form on Entry Central. It's just £10 and that does actually give you a 10% discount at Cycle Station as well, which is really quite good. So if you're getting your bike serviced, you'll make your £10 back quite easily. We also have a discount at Kendall Mink Co. And we also have custom kit now made by Stolen Goat, who make tremendous kit. Remember the usual fare, like and subscribe on my channel if you could. And we do have socials for Loudoun Road Club as well. We're at Loudoun Road Club on both Facebook and Instagram. And of course, you can follow me at The Lone Biker. Anyway, like and subscribe, and I'll see you again.